This is Tristam.
And this is Justin.
For the Space Bros Podcast. Woo! Episode 60.
Yeah.
Woohoo! We made it.
Yep, zippity-doo.
And we are going to live up to a promise we made that said we would do a movie review of Return of the Jedi.
Right.
Every 10.
It would have made... we flubbed a little bit. We should have gone 60, and then 70 should have been Force Awakens.
We were going to wait a whole year to give a review of Force Awakens or talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't, because of life, we didn't keep up on our pace of number of episodes, to match up. But so we tried. We did our best, but we are hitting 6 at 60. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So...
in movie news right away, the biggest news thing that happened was that episode 8 has been officially delayed to December 15th, 2017.
Right.
So they're going to try and stick on a schedule of every 2 years.
Every year?
Movie? Well, every year now.
Yeah.
But it was originally going to be in May of 2016. Yeah.
No, 2017. Because it was going to be 2016 December for Rogue Squadron, and then 2017.
Yeah, 2017.
So 6 months later. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if they were thinking that I wonder if they were thinking that every 6 months was going to be a possibility. And maybe it will be at some point with the number of movies that they're hinting at. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you disappointed or?
No, I'm not, because I like having a Christmas release schedule thing. That's kind of fun.
Sure.
Having, oh, cool, we got off for Christmas. Now let's go see it at midnight or whatever. Or let's see it 4 times in a weekend.
That certainly works better for me for work. So
yeah, absolutely.
Then I don't have to go and see a movie in the middle of the summer. So,
and I think they might have had a little bit of overlap with other Marvel movies coming out.
Sure.
Because they usually release like one of their big Marvel superhero movies in May as well.
Yeah.
So that could have been conflicting there.
I wonder if there's going to be a slight trade-off. I mean, I don't think that any of the Marvel movies are decreasing in income, but I wonder if they're thinking I wonder if they're thinking that the Marvel movies can't possibly continue on that trajectory of every single one is making millions of dollars. I wonder if they're thinking they're going to swap a little bit. I don't know.
Maybe.
I guess we'll see what happens. But
I think DC and Marvel are both counting on that train to keep riding into this year.
Yeah. Well, DC's hoping to squeeze in there.
Yeah, because they're if you see the trajectory of release dates, there's a shit ton of movies still coming out in the next until 2019. So
right,
they better hope that well doesn't dry up.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'm happy that they're going to take more time with it. Obviously, I think it's more time better to get it right.
Yeah,
so.
I agree. I'd rather have a better product and wait for it than some crap.
Right. So that would that mean the 9th was going to be 2019? That's the other thing, is you start thinking about the timeline of that, and you're like, it's going to be 2020.
Yeah.
By the time we see the 3rd start, it makes me feel I'm going to be so old.
Well, there was another article that I didn't publish here in the notes for the news, but there was another thing that came out where they said Disney will keep creating Star Wars movies until the end of time.
Right.
Basically. It's wow, we have the license, we're going to keep doing it. Get ready.
I mean, till the end of time is a bit.
Yeah.
I think at some point movies may not be
a
thing anymore that they wanted to. But I don't know. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Thinking about that, you'd be 40. I'm going to be 40 years old when the the final episode 9.
Yeah, episode 9 will be out.
Yeah, buddy.
Oof.
You ready for that?
You just gave away our ages.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, we're old as shit.
And then when is the Oscars coming up? Is that this weekend or is it?
No.
It's pretty soon, right?
It's in February.
It's in February?
I think it's February 27th. I want to say it's late February.
I could just look on the internet.
We could.
And find out.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to boycott. You going to boycott?
Because why?
Because there's no black people.
In any of the nominations.
So there's been a slight boycott this one.
None?
Yeah, I think it was 0.
Ooh. February 28th is when it airs.
Yeah.
Okay. And supporting actor or?
No, none. You haven't heard all this?
No, I guess I haven't really
drama?
been following the Oscars that much.
Yeah, there was like a Hollywood Reporter cover that was like "Shame on Us," and yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird because like I know that I kind of know how, like, I understand how it works. Like if you're in the guild, you get to vote.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like there's like 4 people who are like, these are the nominations.
Yeah.
It's like the entire vote, they vote across. So like, I mean, it happened not necessarily like by, it wasn't like there was some committee that was like, well, we're just not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, so the way it voted, it happened. So, but I don't know. The Oscars are usually end up putting them on and then not paying any attention to it because they're always terrible.
Yeah.
So maybe this will be a really good opportunity for nobody to watch it.
There is a...
And then they have to flip it up, change it somehow, mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. So. Straight Outta Compton got a Best Original Screenplay nomination.
Mm-hmm. Who
That's
wrote
like
it?
the only thing.
Was it like a white guy?
I don't know, Jonathan Herman something. Yeah. But Star Wars is getting mostly nods for sound editing, sound mixing, music, things like that.
Sure.
Nothing film editing, nothing. It's all technical awards. None of it's like Best Actor
No.
or Best Supporting Actor or any of that.
I mean, not to say that the acting was bad. It just wasn't hard.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing complicated or difficult about, what they were doing.
What if you had to choose a Best Picture? What would you pick?
What are my options? There are a bunch of movies I actually haven't seen.
The Big Short. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Bridge of Spies.
Nope.
Brooklyn. Mad Max.
Yeah.
Spotlight. Revenant. Martian. Room.
It's gonna have to be Mad Max because I've only seen Mad Max.
Oh, okay. That's true.
Yeah.
I've seen The Revenant, The Martian, and Mad Max.
Okay, so between those 3, it'll be The Revenant.
Yeah, I kind of want it. I'd want it to be Mad Max because that movie was great.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool if they got it from Mad Max because it was something else, man.
The Martian was really good too, though. I like the book better, but the Matt Damon did a pretty good job as the main dude.
The Birdman won last year, and that was the same director as The Revenant, right?
Okay.
So that'd be crazy if he. I think that'd be the only time to. I think this may be one of the only times that somebody got Best Picture nomination 2 years in a row.
Interesting.
Or, I mean, it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
So it's possible. I mean, people rave about that movie. So
things that I noticed when I saw it is that they embellished a couple things and changed the story based on the quote unquote true story or based on events, whatever. Yeah. But they made some pretty big jumps.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not surprising.
But it was a good movie, but there was a lot of it I think would be like being put in harsh conditions.
Sure.
I mean, the dialogue in the movie is just a lot of him grunting or being like, "Oh, I don't know, we should go up that way or over that way there." Same with Tom Hardy, he's like, "Well, I don't know, there's
Mad
have to
Max?
go around." No.
Oh, Tom Hardy's in
Tom
the
Hardy
movie.
in Revenant. Yeah.
Okay. Tom Hardy in the Max, like he barely had any dialogue.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's like mumbling.
The same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about acting. I've certainly, like I said, I haven't seen it, so I'm sure he does a good job. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is like I don't necessarily care. Like they're all good movies. Like,
yeah.
Mad Max versus The Revenant. Like what do you like? They're not really the same. Well, I guess maybe they are the same kind of movie. Is it a traveling disaster?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. But Tom Hardy's on the other side of the law on this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The Revenant.
But some of those other ones, The Big Short versus Mad Max, like two different complete. Like what? Apples to oranges, man.
Exactly.
A lot of people talking about finance and like a fucking action sequence for an hour and a half. I don't know. So,
well,
I'm gonna end up watching it.
February 28th is when they air, and they've been nominated for 5 categories for The Force Awakens.
So most likely it won't even be except for best score. A lot of the technical awards are done beforehand.
Yeah.
And so they're just kind of like briefly mentioned because they got to give everybody who goes up there enough time to ramble on about thank you and thank their children and wives and husbands and so I don't know, I'll watch it, but in protest.
All right. Another thing that happened was there was a news article about how the 501st Legion was actually given some Easter egg plugs.
Shout out?
Yeah, shout outs in The Force Awakens. where you really have to look and screen cap it in order to find them.
Which is, yeah, so somebody screen capped it with their camera phone, it looks like.
Yeah, it's really blurry. It's
And
like a...
That looks like the bootleg version of Force Awakens.
Yes. Like someone did a screener or like held up their camera phone.
It looks more like a camera phone. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like a screener,
Yeah.
does it?
No. But it's outside of Maz Kanata's castle
Oh, yeah, with
on that planet.
the
There was-
flag.
yeah, just a flag hanging out for the 501st.
That's cool.
And there was also, let's see, there was R2KT.
Mm-hmm.
It's a creation. It's a droid that someone created in honor of a late daughter that this guy had in the Legion. So his daughter passed away, and he created, I think, a droid, or
Okay.
they worked together with Lucas and put it in the movie, and it's like a little pink and white droid that looks like R2D2.
I wonder if that's the same guy that, because I remember before the film they had talked about somebody, like a hobbyist, was like going to be on the design crew or something like that because of an R2D2 he made. I wonder if that's the same guy.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's name was Albin Johnson, the guy who created it. So
That's pretty neat.
yeah, it's pretty cool of them to do.
Yeah. He's got J.J. Abrams sometimes. I mean, he seems like a good guy. He's
Yeah.
like, you know what, let's do this for fans. And, you know, if that was him, if that was his decision. But, you know,
Yeah.
that's cool. It's a
Yep.
cool way to incorporate fandom, I guess.
Do you want to talk about the name of the planet?
Ahch-To.
I'm sorry, what?
Ahch-To? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So apparently the planet that Luke Skywalker was hiding out on,
Ireland?
Ireland, also known as Ahch-To, I
Or
believe.
Ahch-To, maybe?
Ahch-To? Could be
I don't
Ahch-To.
know. Yeah.
Ahch-To sounds more like a sneeze, so I'm going to go with that.
AHCH-TO.
Yeah.
Is how you spell it. Weird.
Ahch-To.
Yeah.
Ahch-To. So, this was revealed in, oh man, one of the books. I think I'm just missing it. There's somebody. Oh no, it was revealed in the novelization of the film because I actually had to say where they were going.
Yeah.
I guess for some reason. Whether that's important, I mean, no, probably not.
No.
I don't think there is no past expanded universe Ahch-To,
Yeah.
Ahch-To. So
This is a brand new planet.
it's just kind of meaningless. They just gave it a name at this point.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Could be where they train.
Well, right. Well, no, that wouldn't be where they trained because then Kylo Ren would know where it was. Or you mean in the next film? It could be where they trained in the next film. I mean, up to this point, it's meaningless. It has no like background, unless something happens on Ahch-To or Ahch-To, or they mention it in Rogue Squadron, right?
Rogue One? Yeah.
Or Rogue One.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just a little bit of, they kind of like keep inching out information about the expanded universe here and there. So now I got to learn new shit.
So this is this series version of Dagobah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a little nicer than Dagobah.
Yeah,
But
it's where
in terms of where she's gonna get trained, probably. How much training did she need? She was so good by the end of it.
Yeah,
she
that's
already
true.
knew how to do everything.
That's true.
Except for like, oh no, she did the telekinetic stuff. So, I mean, she's done, right? She's like trained fully. Other than like
it would be
keeping her
fun
calm.
if the movie opens with her handing him the lightsaber, and then he hands it back to her and says, "Your training is complete."
Yeah, right. It's like, nah, I saw what you did.
Cool.
More than I ever did.
Yeah,
that was pretty neat.
You're the new master now.
You're the best. And then he just kills himself. There can be only two.
All right. Speaking of Rey,
Yeah.
you found an article that Disney has launched new toys
Yes.
featuring Rey.
So after much vitriol from the fans, understandable. There was not much Rey action figures. She was left out of the Monopoly set. There just wasn't much of her character around the release of the film. So now they're releasing, all the figures that should be released, including just a lightsaber, and then like advertising, like, "Hey, look, girls can have lightsabers too." Duh. So, yeah, people were pretty upset. J.J. Abrams commented on it at one point, saying it was really dumb. There's been some kind of backpedaling where they're like, well, if we released, the toys with her with the lightsaber, it'd be like spoilers.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of called bullshit on that, but,
They could have given... So didn't they give Finn a lightsaber in his toys? A lot of his toys had a lightsaber in it?
Yeah. I don't know if that happened. I mean, I know the advertising showed him with the lightsaber a lot, but I don't know about the toy.
I think the toys might have included that. So if they would have included it with both characters, then it...
Yeah.
I guess it might have ruined a little bit of the...
I don't know.
At the same time, they could have released them like a week after the movie came out. They could have put them out there.
Or they could have just released more toys with her vibroblade, right? Or like whatever her staff was. Yeah. And then just their toys, so you can put lightsabers in her hand.
That's true.
And then like, it was smarter marketing thing would have been like, actually, then the kids could recreate the film where Finn has the lightsaber, but then she ends up with it.
Yeah.
Boom, you sold more toys.
Yeah.
Like, it was really dumb. I mean, the fact that they left her out of the Monopoly board, why would she even have a weapon in her hand? Like, she could have just not, or she could have had the staff.
That was no spoiler either, because they showed her carrying the staff thing around the desert. So
yeah, it was really dumb.
They dropped the ball. Hasbro, we're looking at you.
Yeah, it was a kind of a shitty thing to do. So
so
they're trying to make up for it now, and we'll see how that goes. Do kids even play with toys anymore?
Probably, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Not to the same effect, but
at 8. So I'm going to say past 8, 7, 8. Because 7 to 10 was probably like when my toydom started to fall off, right? You stopped having action figures after like 10. You go to middle school.
Yeah.
And then you go over to your friend's house in middle school and he's playing with action figures. And and you're like in 7th grade and you're like, man, can we go out, do something else now?
Yeah. Would you play with this toy?
Yes.
Okay. An auction house specializing in memorabilia has put up the DL44 model blaster starting at a hefty $200,000.
Put it up. It's over now. Right?
It's over. Yep, it was up and over. Nobody bid on it. But it was up for auction. It's a similar model to Han Solo's blaster, but it was wielded by Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, when he was in Dagobah.
And Empire Strikes Back. It was actually given to a kid who won a competition. I guess.
Okay.
So it was like handed over to this kid for a competition for something. And then he had it for a while and then sold it. And, like some collector bought it from him a long time ago. And then it was going up for auction for, the base bid was $200,000. Because previous weapons have gone for much more. But apparently on the website, nobody bid on it.
Yeah. Really strange.
Yeah. Which is a change in tone for memorabilia like that. Shit was just getting more and more expensive. And now if somebody doesn't bid on this, I don't know what it says about, the state of collectordom.
Yeah.
You did notice, though, that it said it had been repaired. So maybe it's not in great shape.
This was, let's see, made of gray, silver, and brown colored fiberglass. So it's not even real metal.
No, I don't think any of them were.
No. But it also broke and was glued together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I think they generally make them soft. So if you're whipping it around and you hit somebody, you don't hurt them.
Yeah.
So
it also said here too, the gun retains its original flash suppressor and scope, though it does not and never did fire. I remember someone buying it. Or what if like some guy was like, yes, sweet, got it. Like, what the hell? It doesn't fire. I want to return this. Can I get a refund?
Can I get a refund? I don't understand. This blaster's not working.
Yeah.
We're going to get some charge. Yeah. I don't even know what they use to charge them, if they ever said.
Yeah.
I'm sure they did somewhere.
Energy packs or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some crystal, probably.
Yeah. And then why don't you talk about this last one?
Oh, sure.
From Movie Plot.
What is this last one?
It's about stormtroopers in the Force.
Oh, yeah. The Princess Leia theory. So, big comment on the original trilogy is like stormtroopers are terrible at shooting. Like they'd never hit anything ever. And then so somebody posited the theory that like Princess Leia may have been using the Force without knowing it, like protecting those around her from being shot, which, you know, plausible, right? They certainly seem to be better at shooting in this film in the Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So, and then there's one instance where she gets shot, but that she was distracted. So I just think it's a good excuse for just really bad direction in the part of the original films.
It's true. Yeah, that could be a possibility if you wanted to interpret it your own way.
Not bad direction, but like it's a difficult thing to like, you know, have an action sequence where people are being shot at and then they never get hit.
Yeah.
You know, especially when it's in like corridors. It's like, well, and there's not really that much movement in those, and because in those original films they're always just like behind a tree or behind a corner. You know, they're not like running through a whole lot of shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a good theory. I think it works.
Yeah.
I think it's a great excuse.
I'll buy it.
Yeah. She just was unknowingly using the Force. So I'm into it. It's a really long article for a very simple explanation.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
So.
Okay. All right. So now moving on. Well, one last thing is we both posted on our Facebook page a link to the visual effects YouTube video of them removing the pre-effects video compared to post-effects.
It was the VFX reel for their nomination for going for nomination for the Oscars. All right, so apparently it showed a lot of the film, like some really cool parts of it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched it on YouTube, and before it got pulled down, it was pulled down probably within like an hour. And it just showed like the green screen process, really, and the after and before with the Millennium Falcon scenes when they're running, when they're getting blasted. And I think it was about 10 to 13 minutes long.
It's pretty long.
Yeah.
That's some chunks of the film.
But it did show quite a bit of the film. If you hadn't seen it before, I guess it ruined some things for you, but it felt like it was just like a behind the scenes thing.
Right.
So I don't know why it was getting pulled down all the time. Maybe because they said they wanted to air it during the Oscars. Is that the reason?
No, I mean, they said they wanted to. I mean, those screeners are not supposed to be for public. But I think they said that it was just because it showed so many sections of the movie, like kind of a lot of big plot points or a lot of big action sequences. I mean, that stuff is just not for public view.
Yeah.
Those screeners are just not supposed to be because they don't think about, because they don't vet them as much. They're just like, we assume that these people have seen the movie, and so we show them all this stuff, and it doesn't matter what we put in there. All we're showing is like what looks the best. So
okay,
I don't know.
But I think they're going to air it during the Oscars, aren't they? During like they
might show parts of it.
Yeah,
for
best editing or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they might show like there again. That's only going to be like a 20-second clip as opposed to 13 minutes of the film.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still find it, I've heard, and if you really want to do some digging. There was, I forget, I should have put a link in there. I may have posted it on the Facebook page. There was another VFX special from like a BBC show where they kind of run through some of the visual effects stuff that you can actually just watch.
Yeah, I think
on
you
YouTube.
did post that. Yeah.
And that one's pretty interesting. It doesn't show anything that crazy. I mean, we all kind of know how visual effects work these days, but
yeah.
So, but it is interesting to note that like people were kind of surprised because they thought there was going to be a lot more real or actual props. I'm forgetting the term there.
Yeah, practical effects.
Practical effects, but there wasn't as many practical effects as people thought.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's but the effects now look so good that you thought they were practical effects, right?
Exactly.
So
yeah, I
think that's what people seemed like they were most surprised about.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's like, you said you were going to have more practical effects in this movie, and you're down.
Yeah, and he did. He had more characters that were practical effects.
Yeah.
But still the backgrounds are like, 90%.
Yeah.
I think one of the best VFX things to watch is like the Wolf of Wall Street VFX reel. Because there are so many visual effects in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, it's a ton. Like the world around them is like mostly not real. And because that's why it's so good to watch, because you're like, holy shit, like you don't even think about it anymore. But like they were building houses and like different street settings, like
weird
indoors. Yeah, it's a good one to watch if you want to see how many visual effects go into like a film that you would think would have 0.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
yeah, that's a good one to watch. I like that one. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's down. I'm sure it'll pop up again one day.
Yeah. If you do a search for it on YouTube, eventually it'll crop up somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about comics?
No.
No?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. All right. That was comics.
I don't want to talk about that Chewbacca comic. Can we talk about that?
We'll start out with the stinker.
Yeah.
So Chewie number 5 wraps up the Chewbacca standalone series with his adventures with the girl whose name I'm forgetting now. Zaro?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her. And they pretty much have like a closure to the whole Empire's trying to mine us and enslave our people. Let me save my father plot.
Yeah, and then they end up on a Star Destroyer as prisoners, and then they trick the commander of the Star Destroyer into killing
bad guy,
questioning his bad guy that was who's going to bring him all the stuff from the mines.
Yep.
It was just really silly.
Yeah.
Kind of pointless. The only thing I thought that was of note is Chewbacca gives her his medal.
Yeah.
That he never received.
Right. They don't show that on camera, but maybe he got it afterwards. Maybe it was just too hard to get it over his head, or
she just couldn't reach.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
But yeah, he gives her the medal that he earned presumably from New Hope, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get an idea of like this is apparently post New Hope,
and
he's separated from Han Solo for some reason.
But I don't understand what was in.
Oh, he had something to do for his family, and then they show his family. He goes back to Kashyyyk because I don't know. It's just it's definitely for preteens. This comic.
Did you see that part too, where he's also like, I have to get this box.
Oh yeah.
And then what's in the box?
What's in the box?
And they don't really show what's in the box.
What's in the box? He just takes it back to Kashyyyk, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. His heart.
Yeah. He hands a box over to one of the chiefs or something, or a family member.
I don't remember the box at all.
Yeah, he's like holding this box, and like, oh, you have to bring that box back. Okay.
Where did he get the box from?
I don't know. It was like a delivery that he was making.
Okay. Is that why he was on the planet originally?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's a bad comic.
Yeah.
With a mystery box.
Yeah. Maybe that box will turn up in the movie somewhere.
Yeah, right. Or the next Chewbacca comic if they do one.
Oh, God, yeah. It's just really, it's kind of silly and stupid because there's a lot of like dialogue.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to just figure out what they're implying because it's.
Well, right. They use the girl kind of says like, well, I think you're saying that you need to.
I think you mean this.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
But they do it all the time. I mean, they do. It's been done better
in
other comics. So when it's done poorly, you notice it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of characters where they don't speak basic. So there's other characters speaking for them, and it works much better.
Or if you had like an R2-D2 one where it's just beep beep boop boop boop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the most. That one's usually done better. This was not great. So you can skip it.
Yes, if you're thinking about checking out the Chewbacca series, do not.
Yeah, don't get that trade paper.
So on another note, then we've got the Vader Down series comes to an end. So this was like a really convoluted way to make you buy all these Star Wars comics,
right?
But
if for some reason you weren't buying all of them anyways,
yeah, because they're trying to be like, oh, check out this one and that one. If you want to see the story, you got to buy this one,
right?
And I don't think it worked very well. What it made for was like a confusing storyline because you're jumping around to different comics, and then they're trying to include everything into the same thing, and it's like, why not just have that as a one-off thing? Yeah,
and it was, right? Because the first Vader Down was a separate comic.
Yeah.
It was like Vader Down #1. It's like, oh, okay, it's going to be a whole nother comic. Which on its own was kind of like, oh, really? There's going to be a Darth Vader and a Vader Down comic?
Yes.
But then after that, they just sort of, so the storyline into Darth Vader comic and the Star Wars comic That was it, right? Just the two?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know.
Yeah, because then when you get to number 15 of Star Wars, the Star Wars comic, it's like, change scenes, okay, completely different,
totally
just change
different.
gears.
Right.
It's going to be nothing like the other ones.
So,
Yeah.
but the story of the Darth Vader down,
Mm-hmm.
right, was what?
Basically, his plane got knocked down, and he had to crash land because he ran into the Republic.
Right.
Or the, yeah.
But this was a continuation of the story that was happening in the Darth Vader comic.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, like, he was working with, he had his apprentice, not his apprentice, but
The engineer lady.
the engineer that was working with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were trying to, like, because at post Death Star being blown up, he's trying to figure out and go after Luke Skywalker. He wants to find out who he is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because he already knew who he was. While somebody else who was working for Palpatine was kind of investigating everything that was happening.
Yes. Because
he stole a bunch of credits from that Star Destroyer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
so
too.
He was trying to evade the guy by, like, misleading him. And then it brought them all to the planet that sort of like where the Star Wars comic was at.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did something weird and that they keep doing, which is they showed Princess Leia met him before.
Yeah. And of course he's like typical bad guy twirling his mustache like, I'm not going to kill you just yet.
Right.
I'm like, okay, well, of course you're not going to, because
maybe
that's
she was
not how the
using
story
that force
goes.
power again.
Yeah.
And she was persuading him.
That's true.
With love. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it could have just been the Darth Vader comic. I don't understand why they had to.
Yeah, just trying to sell more comics, maybe.
But who's out there just buying the Darth Vader comic or just buying the Star Wars comic?
Maybe some people might just be like, well, I can only get involved with this comic.
Maybe.
Or Darth Vader's my favorite character. I don't really need to see the rest of it.
Maybe.
But, who knows?
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's possible.
Yep. Okay. Well, they also are making a trade paperback that has all the Vader Down issues into one collection.
Right.
So if you really don't want to get invested with trying to track down these other issues, you could just wait for that to come back, and it's probably like $15 for the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess that would just, because there's the main Star Wars comics are going to come out in trade paperbacks, so they're just not going to have those 3 comics in
I think they will.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I
so
think
just
they
going to
will.
give bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
Then you also have to buy the Darth Vader Down trade paperback.
That's the thing too, is they don't make the Star Wars comics feasible on their own, really. If you're reading it, you're like, wait, what? I missed something. What happened there?
That's true.
Yeah. So you're like, oh shit, I gotta find out what happened there.
Right. Yeah, I think I never noticed in Marvel, but in DC Comics, for a while there, they would tell you, like, if something was mentioned, it would be like a footnote of like, I was referencing this other comic. So
okay,
which is an interesting way to do it. I don't know if they do that anymore. I feel like it just kind of like came and went, like it was a fad for a second.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So after the Vader Down stuff in 15, Star Wars number 15, what's the new story?
It's about Obi-Wan, and it's like a turn back the clock. Obi-Wan is on Tatooine. Luke Skywalker is young, like a young 10-year-old, 8 to 10-year-old boy. So they're completely shifting gears because this is like a flashback story. And it's all about how Obi-Wan was kind of like always the silent guardian watching over Luke. And then he kept trying to like intervene in his life and then give him like a lightsaber and be like, and then Uncle Owen would find out and be like, stay away from that boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then what ends, and it's kind of weird too, is that in the end of 15, they introduce you to this black Wookiee who was already in Darth Vader, number 15.
Yep.
Battling Chewbacca. So I don't know if there's going to be another battle with this guy or what.
Right.
It has to go somewhere because it leaves you on like, this is the baddest Wookiee in the galaxy.
Did they kill that Wookiee off in the end of the Star Wars comic? I know.
No.
Or they shot him down.
Darth Vader one.
Like knocked him out, maybe.
Yeah,
probably.
I think Chewie just got him in like a big headlock or something.
Yeah, because he was working with the killer droid, whatever.
Yeah.
The sociopathic droid.
Yes. Yeah.
So. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, so now I'd be curious to see. I guess we're gonna go back. We're gonna stay in that time period of Obi-Wan with Luke Skywalker, while Obi-Wan and Anakin get their own comic. So now it's just like we're going heavy Obi-Wan.
Yep.
For some reason.
It's Obi-Wan's turn now.
Yeah.
So this one takes place. Let's see again. It's right after Qui-Gon dies, and Anakin's been taken out as a Padawan to Obi-Wan.
Right.
And it's kind of like a little adventure that they're going to go on.
So it's covering the time period between 1 and 2.
Yeah, in between that. Yep. Mm-hmm. Between that and Attack of Clones.
Showing some of his preteen training.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is something nobody asked for.
Right. I didn't think it was bad.
No, it's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But I think they play his hand a little too quick. Like they make him a little too bad too quick.
Yeah.
You know, like he's already got issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, let's see the time period where he didn't have issues. I guess. I don't know. You know, you're supposed to. He starts doing things wrong all like right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And apologizing for them immediately. And it's like, well, nobody saw this coming. Like, he's always been struggling with it.
Yes. Yeah. It's okay. Well, let's see how long it runs for. I think this is like a 5 or 6 run.
Yeah, that they seem to like five comics per side stories. It'll be interesting to see if it's like the Star Wars main comic is Obi-Wan for 5 comics, and Obi-Wan and Anakin is, you know, still on Obi-Wan. It's like reading about 2 different time periods of Obi-Wan at the same time, you know? Weird.
Yeah. It could be, Obi-Wan's turn to be in the spotlight.
Right.
Let me look at and see what's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Soon.
Well, that Poe Dameron comic's got to be coming out soon, right?
Yes.
Next couple of months.
That one is... I thought it was... Well, it's not that soon. I think it's March. Let me take a look here.
That's a couple of months.
Yep. Ship date. Here we go. Okay, so there is... coming out in February, we've got... Let me go to, actually, at the end of January.
Sure.
Let's see if there's anything else. So Obi-Wan and Anakin number 2 comes out February 3rd.
Okay.
We've got Kanan number 10.
All right.
Which came out.
The Kanan comic's still going on.
Yep. Vader 16. I wonder if there's any notes in here about this.
I was kind of hoping they would like stop doing the Vader one at the end of Vader Down.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping that was going to be the end of the Vader story for now.
Yeah. Take a break.
But I guess not.
Oh, they're shifting gears on this one, too. It says, the planet Shu-Torin, introduced in the Darth Vader annual comic, is revolting. Do you remember that? So that planet where they had, like, what was it? It was like, they had a caste system. It was like, they had a king and queen and all this, and then he went there and ended up killing their king.
Yeah. That was the most recent Vader comic.
Yeah, he gave the princess, like... the crown or something and said, here you go.
Yeah.
Because they tried to have him killed.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a royal family, and he wiped all of them out in front of her and was like, now you work for me, and you're going to rule this planet with an iron fist, because I said so.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, okay.
Sure.
Sounds good.
So now they're revolting, so now he's got to lead a military assault there.
Huh.
So he's like, damn it, I was just there.
Yeah. I thought that was just going to be a one-off. I was like, oh, it's just a side story, and now they're going to go into another area. Huh.
Yep. Star Wars number 16 with Princess Leia on the cover.
Good. I like some Princess Leia.
Let's see.
I wonder if that's going to be in the time period.
Rebel Jail. Nope. It looks like it's... Well, I don't know. She does look younger, but I don't know.
Yeah. I'd be curious if now they're just going to go in that time period of the Obi-Wan comic. The young Luke Scott, like the teenagers.
Yeah.
You know? Huh. Okay.
Then we've got Obi-Wan and Anakin number 2 coming out in March. The Poe Dameron series is actually April.
Whoa.
Poe Dameron number 1.
Okay.
There is also a C-3PO one-shot coming out in March.
Oh, sure. Going to explain what happened with his right arm?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, the cover it is like a glamour shot of him.
Whoa.
With his red arm hanging out.
That's pretty good.
So it says here... leading up to his appearance in the film.
Yep.
So how did 3PO get a red arm anyway?
There you go. It's
So
a story that nobody cared about.
Oh, man. Can't wait to read about that.
What if that's like the best comic of the year? Like,
even in the Vader Down series, he gets destroyed again. He gets like his arms ripped off.
Yeah.
And it's like, if it happened every single comic, then it wouldn't be special. He's got to do it once in a while. He's always getting exploded into different pieces.
I feel like I like how Wookiees, like Chewbacca specifically, really loves tearing apart droids, but then for some reason really likes C-3PO and like keeps putting them back together. Like he just like
It's a little puzzle to put them back together every
it's
time.
a weird like sadomasochistic relationship. And, like I watch you get torn apart and then I put you back together because I kind of enjoy tearing people apart.
Okay. And then the Kanan comic is still going strong into March. It'll be number 12. So
yeah, we didn't really talk about that. And did you read the last one?
Which one? I think I have 9. I don't know if I have 10.
Yeah.
We did 9 last time.
Okay. All right.
Let me look at the
We
Vader.
can wait till more happens because it's pretty.
Sure. Let me look and see if I can find the Vader Down collection and see how much that is.
Trade paper?
Yeah.
It's got to be like $20. I think 15. What are Marvel comic ones are like $15.99 or something like that.
Yeah, $15.99 for the entire.
Send me to Price is Right.
6-issue run. If you want the entire collection in one hopefully concise.
Does it say what it includes?
No, none of the description, but I think it has just.
I don't know why. Comic books don't do that. I really wish they would just tell you what was in there.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when I want to go back and like read some trade paperbacks of a series that I don't necessarily read all the time, it's like I don't know which number this is.
If you go to like a Wikipedia resource type thing, then usually they tell you what issues are in there.
I just want it in like some books do it.
Oh, this one does.
Okay.
It contains Vader Down, Star Wars number 13, 14, Vader Down, 13 through 15.
So it includes Vader Down and Star Wars comics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So then is the next Star Wars trade paperback on there? Because this will answer a question: are they going to include 13 and 14 of the Star Wars Vader Down story?
Okay.
In the Star Wars trade paperback. I know we're doing a lot of internet searching, which is really exciting.
Riveting.
Should have had this information ahead of time. But
let's see.
In the meantime, I could talk about how much Battlefront I've been playing.
Oh, yeah.
I posted a video of me playing Battlefront because I wanted to test that out on PlayStation Network.
The share thing?
The share thing.
Yeah.
So I posted like a little 1-minute YouTube video of me blowing up some dudes in a Gungan bubble. So I do much better than I thought I would. I don't know if that's just because it's a bunch of old people playing like me or what, but I'm not as awful as I thought I would be. And it's been enjoyable, actually, to like sit down and do a battle.
Oh, they just had a free update too, right?
I think so, yeah.
So the free update had, I think it had another planet and more modes.
Yeah.
Maybe not, just more maps maybe for the same planets, but it also had like Luke Skywalker and Han Solo winter gear if you had unlocked during some Christmas event or whatever, which I didn't do.
I'm still not high enough rank to really do any of that stuff.
They also I heard they nerfed the DL-44 blaster.
Good.
Because it had too much range and it was fired too quickly.
Yeah.
So people were just using that as their only gun and just wasting people.
Yeah, that thing was too powerful.
Yeah.
So everybody was using it when I was playing in one map and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's like this pistol that has unlimited range.
Yeah.
And fires really quickly.
It's pretty crazy. So is there a trade paper for Star Wars?
No. They don't have it listed yet.
Okay.
What's in there? They just have the last one, which has Star Wars 7 through 12.
Okay.
Is coming out in January. So I don't think.
So maybe it'll just be the Vader Down one.
Yeah.
And then it'll be these next set.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
We'll find out. Okay.
When do those? How long does it take for those to come out? What was the Vader Down?
April 20th. So you got to wait a while.
Yeah.
This is the last issue.
3 months after the comics.
Yeah, I think the last issue came out mid-January, so yeah. 3 months afterwards. Okay.
I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like my father.
I feel the conflict within you. Let go of your hate.
Now you will experience the full power of the dark side.
I will not turn, and you'll be forced to kill me.
Now, fulfill your destiny.
I am a Jedi. like my father before me.
All right. On this episode, we promised we would talk about Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Sure.
You watched it again, but you watched a digital remastered version of the original.
Yeah, I actually I watched the despecialized version, which was like a group of fanboys who also do VFX stuff, went through the Blu-ray version of the Star Wars Special Edition, and then removed all the Special Edition stuff. So it's like the highest definition theatrical release version you can get.
Okay.
So, and it was pretty good. Like it was unnoticeable for 95% of it.
Okay.
There's like a couple areas where it looks a little goofy. But for the most part, like I think it's a really good way to watch it. So
Cool.
if you can find it.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of bit torrenting, and
Okay.
it's certainly questionable. Because I was reading up sort of like the legality of doing something like that.
Yeah.
But they think that it could fall under preservationist, because there is no great version of the theatrical release, supposedly. If the film is actually gone, the original, like, and you own a copy, because I actually own like 3 copies of Star Wars, right? I have like the VHS, the specialized versions on DVD, the Blu-ray set. So like, if they come to me and they're like, "You didn't pay for this," be like, I paid for it like 3 or 4 times at this point.
Exactly.
So,
Like all of us have owned it multiple times.
So
Yeah.
it's probably it's pretty good. I should still get you a copy of it.
Okay.
Because they did all 3 original films. So I've only watched the Return of the Jedi though.
Okay.
So
Because my Laserdisc versions are 480
yep,
interlaced
right,
resolution. So
Which
they're
look-
like 640 by 480.
yeah. They look pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not terrible. Like that's a pretty good way to watch it. And there again, you can find those versions you can torrent those
Yes. Yeah. People have ripped those
for sure.
to the computer files, so you can just watch it on your computer
Yeah.
if you want to watch it that way. But let's talk about, so you were mentioning some changes. The Blu-ray changes, I have a list here of Return of the Jedi changes.
Right.
So one of them was that Jabba's palace was edited to appear larger, the door of it, because the door looked too small in the original version, I guess, when you looked at it.
Sure.
So, okay, minor thing.
Yeah, that's pretty minor.
A computer-generated Doug was added to Jabba's palace, like one of the Sebulba-looking dudes.
Right.
I think this is the funniest one. Computer-generated eyelids were added to some Ewoks.
Okay.
So that's a really weird thing.
So
to
they
add.
just look realer. That's actually one of the weirder things on that actually is pretty good on the despecialized version. Is like anything having to do with like eye and face stuff, because at the end of Return, well, we'll get to it. But
Okay. So when R2-D2 is shot, some effects are added, including many hidden tools that pop out. Exposed cable from production was lying across the ground and removed.
I mean, when you watched the Return of the Jedi and you saw a cable running across the ground to Jabba's palace, right? Were you like, well, that must be a production thing? I always just assumed like they were just drawing, like they have to get power somewhere in that shitty looking cave thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird.
Most of the lightsaber shots are restored by giving them back their white cores, most notably during when Vader and Luke Skywalker cross blades in front of the Emperor.
Okay.
So they were saying originally that the lightsaber effects on the original versions didn't have enough white in the core, like the original. I think what happened is their technology got better from when they shot
Sure.
A New Hope to making lightsabers look cool, but they had saturated white cores inside their lightsabers. So I think they just tried to match it better to the original film of The New Hope
Okay.
by retouching the Blu-ray version. I don't know.
Sure.
The Emperor slugs have been removed when the restoration team was working on the lightsabers of that shot. I don't know what those are.
I don't either.
And Vader shouts "No" in anger before he throws the Emperor down the pit. They added that
Oh yeah. That was
in the Blu-ray version.
awful.
I don't know.
So this is just the Blu-ray stuff.
Yeah,
That's probably why I don't know, because I don't think I've actually watched the Blu-ray version.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So apparently, in the original version, he throws the Emperor down. He's getting electrocuted.
Yeah.
And he just tosses him down there.
Right.
And the Emperor goes, "Ah,"
Yeah.
whatever, and screams. But now Vader, in the Blu-ray new version, yells "No" and throws him down.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't
I don't know
know.
why they added that.
And I remember when that happened and the Blu-ray came out, like the uproar. Everybody was like, "What? Why is he?" No.
But also, it could have been a callback to like episode 3 when he's
Could have.
doing the Frankenstein thing.
Yeah.
No.
That's just so unnecessary. Such a weird thing to do.
Yeah. Let's see. Some things that were added to the special edition version of Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the ones that were on DVD and the special edition VHS box sets.
Right.
And Laserdisc too. I have the Laserdisc special edition ones. If
Okay.
I ever wanted to watch those.
Right.
I don't think those are up-res at all either. I think they're just the regular resolution too. So, anywho, some things were added was Boba Fett's briefly shown flirting with someone at Jabba's palace.
Mm-hmm.
Seen in Tatooine, a herd of banthas heading to the pit of Carkoon was added. Right after the scene of the banthas, the poorly composited guard walking out of the sails barge deck was redone. I guess the guy had some technical issues that day. A revised version of the Sarlacc at the base pit features a beak-like mouth and extra tentacles, so they added some things to it.
Yeah, I remember they made it look more just like, not just a hole, like an asshole on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
A spiky asshole.
CGI rope has been added around Han's ankles as he hangs under the skiff by his feet. So maybe he was just hanging there with nothing attached.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. In the original version, where Han is about to shoot the tentacle that's grabbing Lando, he says, "It's all right, trust me." In the special edition, he says, "It's all right, I can see a lot better." Okay.
Yeah.
The shot of Luke covering his damaged cybernetic hand with the glove was reshot in order to stay congruent with the reshot scenes in Empire Strikes Back. The damage in the original scene only featured blinking lights, whereas the new scene shows parts with the exposed artificial skin. Okay, sure. At the end of the trilogy, after the Emperor is defeated, the celebration is shown. The Ewok song, referred to as Yub Nub during the sequence, has been retired with a new John Williams composition, Victory Celebration.
Yeah.
So they took out Yub Nub.
Right.
Yeah, and added that.
Wh-
Sure.
I mean, which everybody kind of made fun of the Ewok stuff, right? And they kind of made fun of Yub Nub as this corny ass thing. So but when they changed it, then everybody was like, well, but don't change it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we hate it, but like, why change it? You know, I don't know. Because people were like, it was weird to see like that sort of change. People making fun of it being gone, and everybody complaining about that they got rid of it.
Don't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Just
The other if you really want to fix it, get rid of all the Ewoks. That's the dumbest part.
The thing that's most notable, I think, is that the Force Ghost scene was edited in this version to include the Hayden Christensen Anakin.
Yeah.
Instead of having
just Obi-Wan,
the
old Anakin.
Yeah, old fat Anakin.
Did they make it? They didn't make it a young Obi-Wan, did they?
No.
Okay.
They didn't.
They still used.
Yeah. Alec
Guinness.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they didn't use the original Vader actor. And they also, I think they also changed, didn't they also change the part when he takes off his mask and change it to Anakin's face?
No.
Hayden Christensen's face?
No, what they did, I'm surprised I didn't mention it in here, is they removed his eyebrows.
Oh.
Because he still had eyebrows and he wouldn't have had eyebrows.
Right.
So when I watched the despecialized version and they put his eyebrows back on,
it looked weird.
Even weirder.
Yeah.
So like that wasn't one of the areas or anything. Like it was just kind of like they were just sort of like they looked pretty good. But the problem is that what they ended up doing is they took the laser disc, you know, and tried to upres his eyebrows.
Oh.
So like the resolution's a little off.
HD eyebrows.
Yeah. He has like his eyebrows ain't they're not HD. So it just looked kind of goofy. But it was passable. It's just like oh yeah, that's right, they removed his eyebrows because he wouldn't have had eyebrows. That was a mistake.
Oh, the last thing too that they say is that after the destruction of the Death Star, the second as with the destruction of the first Death Star, the second destruction has been given a shockwave ring.
Okay.
So in the original version, I think when it explodes in the Laserdisc versions, there is no like impact around it. It's just like with no shockwave ring going on to space.
Right.
From the core.
Because there wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's nothing for there to be a shockwave of. There's no air.
Right. But they wanted to make it look cooler.
They made it look cooler.
They tried to make it look more devastating.
Sure.
In the special edition version.
Yeah, there wouldn't be a shockwave, right?
Yeah.
I ain't no physicist, but I don't think there would be.
There's no space. There's no sound in space though, too.
Right.
So
if there's no air or anything, so there's nothing for the
I don't know
impact to go through. Yeah, I guess.
They just want to make it look cooler.
I'm going to say no. That there
Well,
shouldn't be a shockwave.
Let's ask Neil deGrasse
Just like nobody
Tyson.
should hear it, and still they have sound.
Yeah.
So, because you have to, because, silent space fight would be...
It would be awesome. Like,
Yeah, just the inside of the cockpit sound. Like, okay, let's do this. I mean, you maybe would hear something would reverberate through the guns, kind of like how you hear your own voice in your head because the sound is going through your skull, right?
probably inside of your cockpit.
So
you
the
could hear
cockpit,
things,
you would hear like what it sounds like for the blasters to go off inside the cockpit.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they could say that that's what that sounds like, the high pitched.
Or there just be comm chatter going on.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
because they're wearing headphones
Yeah.
too, or like
Yeah.
head helmets.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a weird, space movies, man. Got to get it right.
It has less of an impact, I guess.
Right.
Okay. So then let's just talk about the movie in general.
Yeah.
So, did you enjoy it
Yeah.
still?
I did.
Do you still think it's one of the lesser of the movies?
I mean, I still really like Empire, as
Mhm.
most people do, but I think my rating is still Empire, Jedi, A New Hope.
Okay.
I don't know. I like Jedi. I think it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, the things that I like about this movie, I really like the beginning scene, the skiff scene, the Jabba skiff.
yeah.
That part's awesome.
Right. It's got a good opening.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And where it kind of drags on for a little bit for me is the whole like, oh, we got to figure out what to do on this planet of Endor.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of tangents and stuff.
I would really like, I still, because of the opening sequence with having, obviously, Princess Leia and Lando were up there trying to get Han Solo out, and she's dressed up as that bounty hunter. And I had heard before that it's sort of in the expanded universe that there was some sort of stories about her as this faux bounty hunter
Okay.
running around.
Yeah.
Like, I like that, like, opening up with that, where you're like, what is this? Like, why is she dressed up like a bounty hunter?
Mm-hmm.
Did she, like, do this stuff as a bounty hunter for a while, or what? I think that's an interesting idea. And it was cool to have her be
That'd be a good
for
comic
a
book.
moment. Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Princess Leia as a bounty hunter hiding from the Empire
Yeah.
for a little bit. As she's trying to hunt down Han Solo.
Mhm.
Using the connections of the bounty hunters to like find out where Jabba's palace is, shit like that. That's totally a story, right?
Yeah, people like the bounty hunter stories, so
Lando and
interacting with the
Leia.
others. Yeah.
That should be the next comic is Lando and Leia,
Yeah.
right?
Why, hello, what do we have here?
And it's just him trying,
Yeah.
like, constantly trying to hit on her, and she's like not having it.
Can I get it in?
Yeah.
How about today?
No, Lando.
No.
God. So yeah, I like that too as well.
Mhm.
The setup is good.
Yep. But then to the whole Emperor Vader Luke battle at the end is good. It's choreographed well, much better than the original like A New Hope lightsaber battles went, things like that.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's a good end to it.
yeah, definitely.
It definitely puts a bow on the series, but then they're like, wait, to be continued. We want to make more money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there is the problem of like, it's a retelling of a story of another Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
people complain about Episode 7 being, oh, it's a Death Star. It's the same fucking story.
Yeah.
But like, Return of the Jedi was kind of the, other than the opening sequence,
Mm-hmm.
like after that, it's just about them blowing up a Death Star again.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
well, of course they were building a second one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But it's still entertaining enough that you're like, oh, forget about that. Look at these fucking Ewoks. That's
Mm-hmm.
weird. Like, also goofy, but still enjoyable.
Yeah.
We're really gonna believe that these Ewoks can help them take down the
Yeah.
Empire. Sticks and stones will beat blasters every time.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. That's you suspend your disbelief for that one.
Right.
Just be like, oh, look at that teddy bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the moon of Endor. So,
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
Mhm.
I would still rank mine. I think I would put. So I like A New Hope a lot. I think it's great. And The Force Awakens. It's really hard to compare a movie that was made 30 plus years ago to the brand new version of the movie because you're like, it's better than A New Hope. It does everything A New Hope did, but better.
Yeah.
Like, well, not really. I mean, cinematography is better and stuff like that, and quality of the movie in terms of like technical prowess is much better, but the story I think is better in A New Hope.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you more room to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Like back in the 70s, like they actually took a moment
Mm-hmm.
to like have Luke Skywalker like slowly walking out onto the desert scene,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and looking up at the sky. Like that shit kind of happened in The Force Awakens,
Yeah.
right? In the opening when she's like putting the helmet on and like looking
Yeah.
up. Like he totally, as we know, he like took a lot of shit from the first 3 films
Mm-hmm.
intentionally. I'm sure, but there's more moments like that in A New Hope than there's in Force Awakens, because audiences nowadays are like, if it's not moving, I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
right?
Like, oh, let me check my phone. This is boring.
Yeah, like our sense of
Attention span
span
and all
is
that,
just
yeah.
gone, I
Yeah.
think.
Mm-hmm.
So he just compressed those 3 movies into like one fucking
Mm-hmm.
exciting ass movie.
Yep.
So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, those
I
original
still-
sequences, because we're older, we're like, it's good. Like
Mm-hmm.
they take their time.
I still like A New Hope is my number 1.
Okay.
I would put Empire number 2.
Okay.
Then I'd put Force Awakens.
Okay. Oh, you're including the Force
Yeah,
Awakens.
in my new revised list.
Sure.
Then I would put Jedi. Then I would put Revenge of the Sith. Then I'd put Phantom Menace, and then I'd put Attack of the Clones at the bottom.
I didn't know you were going all 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Hmm. Yeah, Force Awakens is really good, but I think it was a little bit of like hype around it that like, oh my god, it's brand new, it's cool, it's the best Star Wars movie ever made.
Right.
Like, well, take a step back and look at them all as a complete work, and I would still put it in my top 3, but I wouldn't put it number 1.
Yeah, I guess if I had to put it in my top, if I had to include Force Awakens in the top 3, that kind of changes things, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'd put Empire still first, though, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I really like Empire.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of like story to tell there, and there's a lot of character development that like the other ones just don't necessarily have.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Plus,
Yeah.
I like the ending. I like the fucking negative ending.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen a lot
Uh-huh.
in like
Mm-hmm.
in big budget films, where it's like, oh, everything's shitty. End of movie.
Wait, where's the happy ending?
Yeah, exactly.
Was there a deleted scene?
I think that's what kind of bumps it past the other ones for me. So I don't
Okay.
know. Huh.
Think about your list for next time.
I will. I
All
will.
right.
I don't know where to put Force Awakens.
Okay. It's tough. It's hard to lump all those together like we were talking about the Oscars, like
Yeah.
having all these different...
I feel like I maybe just put it in the 4th. Like it wouldn't. I probably still wouldn't make the top 3, because I still look at
Mhm.
Force Awakens as like a reboot,
Mm-hmm.
like using the same story and character types
Yeah.
to recreate the story. So I don't know. I think I'd still go with the original 3 as my favorite.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, or 5, 4, 6 is your order?
5, 6, 4.
Okay.
A New Hope is like my third favorite.
So 5, 6, 4, 7,
5, 6,
3.
7. No, not even 3. God, I hate all those. I don't like 3 even.
You have to...
pick one of them.
you have to lump them, so just do
Alright.
your order to the
Okay,
bottom.
I'm just gonna go. It's gonna go 5, 6, 4, 7, and then for the prequels, I'm only gonna say number 2, because like I hate like I hate it so much
Yeah.
that like it sticks in my mind the most. Like I think it's like the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3, it's like, oh, this is a little better.
Wait, you're putting 2 ahead of 3?
I'm putting 2 because it's like I hate
Oh.
fucking it. Because
Oh.
like I don't like I hate it so much that it's almost better than the other ones because it's so hateable.
Yeah.
Like the other ones I don't like at all. I just think like 3 is boring and or 1 is just even worse.
Mm-hmm.
So at least 2, like I can just like watch and be like, oh god, rolling around in the grass.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
so that's it gets weird towards the end of my list, but that's how I have to put it.
Okay.
So
All right. I'll put a poll out there on our Facebook page, see if anyone responds to it.
yeah,
Ask them what their order is.
yeah, that's gonna be a tough poll to do.
I'll maybe do like 4 options,
Sure.
and then yeah. Okay. So yeah, all that stuff too.
I did it. Oh,
Yeah.
and I have the new Rebels season.
Okay.
The last whatever 6 episodes
Mhm.
or 7 episodes, because now season 2 part 2 is started.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, the second half of the
So
second
maybe
season.
we can watch start watching those.
Sure.
For the
Absolutely.
upcoming episodes.
And we just did a unboxing video, too. We'll post on our Facebook and YouTube channel about Smuggler's Bounty number 2, package number 2.
I think I'm going to do a build video of one of the foil flight things.
Okay.
Like little metal figures that you put together.
You got one of those?
I got one for Christmas, so I'm going to try and put one together.
What model is it?
I think it's Kylo Ren's ship.
Okay.
So, whatever that's called.
Cool. Yeah. The
big wing thing.
Not...
It's not the big wing thing?
No. It's like a TIE interceptor, maybe? Something like that?
Yeah, it was like a new interceptor, right? Because it had those huge wings for whatever reason.
Yeah. Everything's got to be bigger in the new movie.
Everything's bigger.
All right. That's it for episode 60.
You can hit us up at the Twitter account at the Space Bros.
Check out our Facebook page.
The Space Bros. Email us at gmail.com. thespacebros@gmail.com.
Yep. Send us questions, comments, feedback.
Whatever.
Hearsay, speculation.
Yeah.
Anything you want.
We'll read some emails. We'll have an email
We're not
section.
above it.
No. Just got to get some good ones.
And then subscribe to us on iTunes if you haven't already. Or
Stitcher.
Look us up on Stitcher.
Yeah.
We're on the Stitch. That's a Stitch.
Stitch.
Yep. All right. Peace out.
Chucky.
Was, without a doubt, the worst episode ever. Rest assured that I was on the internet within minutes, registering my disgust throughout the world.